Majera and Brandon Kennard with Newsline 9's Pack Attack.
Thanks for joining us for week 3 of Pack Attack. I'm Newsline 9 Sports Director Lauren Majera, joined by Brandon Kennard and everyone's favorite Packers Hall of Famer, Johnny Gray.
Thank you.
Well, for the first of 3 straight divisional matchups, it was kind of a worst-case scenario, huh, Brandon?
Yeah, that's right. It certainly did not go the way the Packers had planned in Detroit. Lost to the Lions for just the 3rd time in the Mike McCarthy era, and a very un-Packers-like performance from the offense. The 7 points scored is the least amount of points produced by an Aaron Rodgers offense in a game that he played from start to finish since he became the starter in 2008.
Johnny, would you say it's time to panic yet? Should we be worried about the 2014 Packers?
Not just yet. I remember over the first 3 weeks, this Packers offense is facing 3 of the top 5 defenses in the National Football League. Let's give it another week before we decide to panic.
Okay. Well, let's take a look back at what went wrong. The Packers said they wanted to come out fast. Instead, they started out to a very rough start. Eddie Lacy with the fumble. Detroit would recover it, and they go on to return it 40 yards and the touchdown. A sting of a start for the Pack as they trail 7-0. Well, the Packers defense does their part. First-round draft pick Clinton Dix picks off Matthew Stafford for his first professional interception, and that would lead to this. Aaron Rodgers' 10-yard pass to Andrew Quarles for the touchdown, and it's a tie game.
Now moving on to the second quarter, Lions offense back out there. Matthew Stafford looking deep, and last week's Pack Attack guest, Devon House, makes a nice interception that could have been a big play for the Packers. However, it really kind of hurt them because he spotted at the 1. Johnny, I know it sounds crazy, but on 3rd down, as a former DB, do you ever consider not catching that pass?
Never. That's a situation. You're hoping that you can get your offense can do something coming out of the end zone. You don't want to give that other offense another chance.
And that, of course, leads to this. Eddie Lacy taken down in the end zone for a safety, and that really swings the momentum the Lions' way. They take advantage and go on to win it 19-7.
Well, the Packers start 1-2 for the 3rd straight season, but let me remind you that the Packers actually did the last 2 straight seasons win their division and still go on to the playoffs. Now is the time for the Packers to start winning. Does anybody want to know how they're going to do that? Anyone? Okay, well, let's ask our special player guest. Let's bring him out. Packers starting center, rookie Corey Linsley.
Good, how are you doing? Thank you.
How's it going, Corey?
Nice to meet
Welcome
you.
to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, Corey, how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Have a seat.
Oh.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I always hear coming out of the Packers locker room, you have to have a short memory in the NFL. Have you guys forgotten about the loss? Or does it still sting a little bit?
Still stings a little bit, but, you know, I operated on a 48-hour window in college, so I think that's appropriate for the situation. Just 48 hours, let it sting, and then get it out of your mind.
Well, it looked like offense really couldn't ever get anything going. They really tried to establish a running game on Sunday, and even when it didn't necessarily work, you kept going back to that. Was that running game the offensive plan going in?
Yeah, you know, our offense is built on running the football, and obviously Aaron, as talented as he is, it's built on his arm as well. But, you know, we pride ourselves on being a tough physical team, and to do that you have to run the ball. So obviously that's in every game plan.
I'm sure it didn't make it any easier on you guys when you're going up against one of the best defensive lines in all of football. Looking at it from your perspective, here you are, your 3rd game as an NFL player. You line up, take the ball in your hand, and you're looking across at Ndamukong Suh, Nick Fairley, guys like that. How was it going up against them?
You know what, it wasn't as shocking as I expected. I think that the past 2 weeks and the guys that we have in our locker room have definitely prepared me for that. So just in general, but I mean, they get all the respect they're due, you know, without a doubt. They're a heck of a defensive line.
Corey, before you came out, Lauren asked the crowd how they get this offense going. What are your thoughts?
You know, well, we just got to get clicking. You know, there's too much talent and everything to say that there's a weak area or we have a deficiency somewhere. You know, we have a great offensive line, obviously great quarterback, great running back, great receivers. It's just a matter of putting everything together and getting everybody on the same page.
How does the team get into rhythm? We've heard that over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's just practice, preparation, and it's somebody's got to spark it on game day. And you know, we've yet to do that. We've yet to do that through 4 quarters, and we did it through 3 quarters against the Jets. But we'll get it done.
One thing that really stood out to me was it seemed really loud in there, especially on those 3rd downs. the Lions Stadium isn't really necessarily known for their noise level. Be honest, nobody's going to think you're making excuses or anything. Did that affect the offense?
I think that's one of the last things that affected the offense, actually. I didn't feel that it was loud at all, or we actually had no mental errors on the offensive line. So that was one of the positives that came out of the game. So when you have something like that happen, you know that there's obviously room to improve, and that mentally there's nothing slacking.
Now, one of the things that's been talked about a lot is this was the first of 3 straight divisional games, which is rare this early in the season. Now, obviously, it did not get started the way that you wanted it to, but it always is. It'll be a tight division the rest of the way. You've got these 2 upcoming games. Break it down for me. How tight is this race going to be, and how focused do you guys have to be these next 2 weeks?
It's not 2 weeks. It's 11, 12 days. I don't know. We played 3 games in 11 days, and so either way, I mean, everybody knows the NFC North is always a tight race, and there are 4 really, really good teams, and 3 other than us, and you know, and we knew going into that, and if we can get to 2-1 in the division and start off at that, it's going to be an amazing start.
We heard Randall Cobb say that it was embarrassing for the offense because the defense played so well, and that some of the guys need to look at themselves in the mirror. How does a player do that to check themselves?
You know, you just got to watch the game film and really evaluate yourself critically and honestly, because if you don't, and you're sitting there lying to yourself that you think that you've done a good enough job, then you're not going to improve in the week in practice. And that goes for everybody, you know, and that's a fair assessment, absolutely, coming from one of our leaders on the offense.
Well, after the game, the locker room had emotions of disappointment and embarrassment. Here's some heat of the moment right after the game reaction.
There's no excuse for that. I mean, it's 2 weeks in a row. We had a fumble on the first play, and we fumbled the second play. I mean, it's unacceptable. And on top of it, it turns into 7 points. I mean, we gave up 9 points on offense.
We had a lot of good looks to run the ball and didn't run it very good. You know, we can't say we had a ton of effectiveness throwing the football either.
Whatever it takes to win, no matter what. Our defense did enough to do it, and we didn't.
Okay, enough doom and gloom. Let's take a deep breath. My goodness. Well, before we move on, I want to get your opinion on something that happened during the game that kind of, I thought, well, we'll let you comment on it. Stephen Tulloch, who's never missed a game in his 9-year NFL career, during his sack celebration, tore his ACL. That is a season-ending injury. Obviously, you never want to see anyone get hurt, but that's kind of a silly way to get hurt. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it's really unfortunate that happened to that guy. I mean, he was a heck of a player, obviously, but you know, you never want to see that happen. But at least it wasn't malicious, I guess.
We're just getting started here on Pack Attack. When we come back, we'll get to know Corey a little bit better and our Say What segment. We're back on Pack Attack. I'm Sports Director Lauren Majera, joined by Brandon Kinnard, Packers Hall of Famer Johnny Gray, and Packers starting center Corey Linsley. It is now time for our Say What segment.
All right, I'll go ahead and take this first one. And Corey, you're just about a year removed from college football, so we'll start with some college football. You played at Ohio State, but let's head to Madison. I don't know if you caught this game or not, but the Badgers' running game was it was looking like it was the late 90s again. They ran for 644 yards. That is not a misprint. 644. You were part of a run-based offense at Ohio State. What was the biggest game you remember you guys having?
At Ohio State,
Ran for a lot of yards in 2013.
Yeah, definitely. The biggest run game we might have had was in Nebraska in 2012. We ran the ball well against them. I don't know. We had a lot of running yards in a lot of games. But that was outstanding. I mean, I can't believe to put up over 600 yards of rushing is just unheard of.
That is a modern-day Big Ten record as well.
And moving on to topic number 2, let's take a look at the NFL. There seemed to be a trending topic going on Sunday involving quarterbacks going undercover as receivers. In Cincinnati, quarterback Andy Dalton actually caught a touchdown pass. Seattle's Russell Wilson caught a pass. And this one didn't count because of a penalty, but the Browns snuck Johnny Football out, and he had a reception as well. Did you see any of these outrageous plays, and do you think that Aaron Rodgers would be open to something like this?
I saw the Johnny Manziel one. That was kind of unbelievable just because being from Ohio, I saw the Cleveland one. But, Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can get a guy to throw the ball, and I've seen
Cobb can throw it a little.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen Randall.
Yeah,
Randall, I've seen him throw the ball pretty well, and TJ Lang even throws the ball pretty well. So maybe we can get a little guard pull and get him the ball.
I don't know. Would that be legal? Get a guard out there throwing a pass?
Make it legal on balance.
Yeah, for a while last year, it looked like Randall might actually have to play quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, topic number 3 in our Say What segment. Let's head to Seattle. Corey, I don't know if you're ready to go back there yet, but Super Bowl rematch Sunday between the Broncos and the Seahawks, and Peyton Manning just doing what he does. Down by 8 with less than a minute to go. He takes them all the way down the field to tie it and force overtime. Less than a minute, 80 yards. That is quick work. Have you ever been part of a game-tying, game-winning drive that goes that quickly?
Not like that. Not that I can remember, but that was an amazing performance. I was watching it, and we were actually going to go eat at Titletown Brewery, and then Garth Gerhardt calls me. He's like, dude, you got to put on this game. And we postponed that till like 8 o'clock or whenever that game ended. But, yeah, that was amazing. He's a talented guy. That's always great when you get to see a talented guy like that put on a show.
Seahawks still went on to win it in overtime, though.
Well, Corey, we want to take a little bit of time to get to know you. You're so young in your NFL career, yet things seem to be progressing rather quickly. You came in as a 5th-round draft pick. You're set to be the backup center, and then J.C. Tretter gets hurt in the preseason, and suddenly you're the starter. Walk us through the way that everything went and also your emotional process.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate because J.C. was doing well in the preseason, and he had a year under his belt and had the offense down, and so when he got hurt, I was kind of I had never taken the rep with the first team offense, so it took a while to adjust, but luckily I had guys, Aaron, TJ, and Josh next to me that just helped me out so much through the process, and it's definitely paid off. And I don't think I've made any too big mental errors that have cost us the game or anything. And
someone knock on wood.
Yeah, exactly. So
thank you.
But
not everyone. I guess
the more the merrier.
Yes.
But yeah, either way, I mean, they helped me out a lot, and it was a tumultuous time for like a week and a half, but since then, they've definitely relaxed, got me more relaxed.
My turn?
Yes.
Oh, tell me about Josh and TJ. Those guys next to you, they seem like they keep you in line, or they keep reminding you that you're still a rookie, even though you're a starting center. Yeah. You're still a rookie.
It's a great balance. It's hilarious. It's honestly like sometimes it's like a TV sitcom. We'll be doing a walkthrough, and I won't hear the snap count, and Josh will tell me the wrong snap count, just so I snap it on the wrong, and then Aaron throws the ball at me, and I'm like, I'm looking at Josh, and he's laughing his butt off. And he's having a great time. But no, on the field, they're making calls for me, and they really are like, they're the epitome of veterans that really help the young guys out.
Now, I've heard a lot of positive things about that O-line. It seems like they're tough on the rookies. Is it ever too tough, or is it just all in good fun?
Never too tough. Brian loves to give me a hard time, and as do all of them. But the most I got to buy is lunch on the road games. There's no $12,000 dinners, at least not yet.
Yeah.
From what I've heard,
knock on wood again.
Yeah, seriously.
Save me some money, but. In the past is what I've heard. There's no $12,000 dinners or anything outrageous. They're good to the rookies.
All right, Corey, let's go back to training camp. You were a part of one of my favorite stories during training camp. The Packers, of course, have the long-standing tradition that players ride the bikes of local kids to practice, and you developed a really good relationship with your bike buddies. Name's Travis Colbeck. So much so that you bought him a new bicycle. How about that, folks?
Mm-hmm.
A well-deserved round of applause. Now, how did you become so close to him, and why did you decide to buy him some new wheels?
Well, Travis and I met on the second or third day of camp, and he just asked me to be a seasoned rider, which I guess is customary. But through chatting with him back and forth to practice, he kind of didn't get the whole situation. But I got the gist that his mom was in the hospital, and his dad seemed like he was working longer, and obviously had to balance between the kids and taking care of his wife. And I just thought, why not help out? His bike looked like he needed a new one, and thought I could do him a favor by buying him a new one. And I've since met the Colbecks and been over their house, and grow closer with their family. We talk all the time on Twitter. We're going to the SpongeBob movie when it comes out, so that'll be good. But yeah, great family, great people. It goes to show you meet good people when you do good things.
Very cool. Well, when we come back, we'll have Pack Attack Trivia, and we have a special surprise for Corey. Stay with us. We are back on Pack Attack. Now we've drilled special player guest Corey Linsley's knowledge of the offensive line. Now we're going to test your general wits with some trivia.
All right. Corey, one of your favorite players growing up, to my understanding, was former Packers quarterback Brett Favre. I think I've heard of him. Now, you actually dressed up as him for Halloween one year, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, your question, Favre-related. How many career touchdown passes did Brett Favre throw? He's the all-time leader in NFL history.
All right.
Not as many as the Badgers had rushing yards on Saturday.
So it's less than 600.
Yes.
Go ahead and say 415.
Ooh, 508.
508.
Ooh, north of 500. Peyton Manning will probably break that this year if he stays healthy. So Packers fans, enjoy that record while you can.
Well, I have a feeling you're going to get this next one. I dug a little bit into your past, and I have a special guest who's going to ask this trivia question.
It's Coach Joe down here in Florida. Played great this weekend. The trivia question for today is, Corey, what was your nickname from your high school football coach?
Oh, man. How'd you get that? That's Coach Joe.
I never reveal my sources.
That's my guy, man. That's awesome. I love that. But yeah, my nickname was Chuck growing up in high school. The funny story, can I tell you real quick?
Yeah, please.
So I truly think that he organized this. But so like one day he comes up to me and says, "I'm gonna call you Chuck." I go, "All right." So I asked him, later down the road, I go, "Why do you call me Chuck?" He goes, "You look like a kid that our strength coach played with in high school." I go, "All right." So I go up to the strength coach. I go, "Who's this Chuck kid?" He goes, "Oh, his name's Anthony." I go, "Well, why'd you call him Chuck?" He goes, "I don't know." I think he didn't think Corey was a tough enough name, so he called me Chuck. So that I truly believe that. But yeah, that's hilarious. That's awesome.
Well, when I was digging into your past today, I was told that you and Coach Ogilvie have a little bit of a special relationship. Can you talk about what he meant to you growing up?
I mean, in 8th grade, I literally did not play football at any snaps of football, and in 7th and 8th grade, and I was awful. I was soft. I was everything that you would not want in a football player. And then he came, and I was sick and tired of being soft and a crybaby and everything. And he came up and gave a speech to the 8th graders, and our football team was struggling at the time. And he gave a speech and inspired me, and I was like, man, I want to play for this guy. I want to turn. I want to not stop being soft and stop being made fun of and everything. And he really, truly is the reason why I'm here.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that we got to hear from him.
Definitely. I'm glad too.
Yeah. Well, we're not the only ones who get to ask Corey questions. Our viewers have been submitting their questions via social media. With that, we turn it to Dave Calloway for our questions from the sideline.
Hey, this is Corey. This is your life tonight. We changed the whole theme here just for you, Corey. And there's I don't know if people remember this or not, but Aaron Rodgers was on Pack Attack some years ago, and we asked him a question. We wanted to ask you the same thing. It was, what is the biggest transition when you go to college ball, and you've been playing there for a little while, and then you go to the NFL? What's that one thing that's the biggest difference between college ball and NFL football?
For me, it's been the mental speed. I was always able to. I've never been, not in tune with what's going on the football field, but it's got to be like, you see the defense, you instantly know what's coming. You instantly know what's going to happen, and that's definitely been the biggest jump for me.
There you go. Hey, and another one for you here, Corey. Now, remember, we're getting these questions from Twitter and Facebook here. Is it true that you played Harry Potter in a middle school musical?
No, that is one of my best friends from high school that made that up.
It's following you around, huh?
Oh, yeah. He actually made the Twitter account as a joke for me, and then I took over my Twitter account. So,
oh, my God.
He's going to be like 60 years old, Corey, and people are going to be saying, Harry, Chuck,
yeah.
Corey. Well, that's it for questions from the sidelines here through the week. If you ever want to tweet us, you certainly can at PackAttack9. That's questions from the sidelines.
Well, now we're ready for Gray's Gridiron, and I'm going to be a whiner. I apologize, even though the Packers lost. And it just seems like the NFL is geared maybe toward the offense, Corey. because here's Devon House. I mean, he's got Megatron covered. He goes up for the interception. He hauls it in, and he rolls into the end zone, and the referee said, nope, we're not going to bring it out to the 20. We're going to put it right there on the 1-yard line. And unfortunately for the defense, the offense had to start on the 1-yard line, and it didn't look good for the Green Bay Packers. So I'm whining. I want to go to the National Football League and say, hey, you know what? If a guy makes a play right there, he wasn't pushed, or he would have been down right there, but Megatron couldn't get a hand on him. He just rolled in there. The ball should be a touchback. It should come out to the 20-yard line, and the Packers win. Yeah.
That is always my favorite part of the show, when Johnny gets to sound off on an NFL issue.
Oh,
Grace
my
Gridiron, the best. When we come back, we're going to test Corey Linsley's arm and see how he could possibly do as a quarterback, and maybe fare against some of his teammates who have been here this year as well.
Now it's time for the Miller Lite Pack-A-Toss. A 30-second test of speed, focus, pinpoint control. How many footballs can tonight's guest throw into the target?
It is now time for Pack-A-Toss. We actually have a special treat. Corey Linsley, starting center, he thinks he might do a better job of snapping the ball than throwing it, so we might actually get to see this. Now, your teammates have been here before.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if you could do better than I think Devon House did 2. Oh, Devon House had 3. Scott Twolzien, quarterback, did 7. Corey, let's see how you fare. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, there's your starting line. You've got 30 seconds. On your marks, get set, go.
Oh.
Come on, you guys, let's cheer him on. You're a little high.
There it is.
There we go. There's 1.
Ah.
Almost. You've got about 20
20
seconds left.
Oh. Oh, this is
So
awful.
close. You better pick up the pace here.
It's
you got
tough.
okay.
This is
There's
tougher
2.
There we
than
go.
it looks. 3.
Beat Devon.
10 seconds
Oh.
left. At least you're not in last place.
4.
4.
3 to tie.
5. 5 seconds left. 6.
For the tie.
7.
7.
Oh! Awesome job.
All right. Beat Scott.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
You'll have to back the quarterback. Then
Definitely.
through him.
I'm going to brag to him a lot.
All right, that's it for now. We'll be back in just a little bit. We're back next week with a special episode of Pack Attack. Our guest, Carl Bradford. Give it up for Corey Linsley, and you can go ahead and sign the sign.
All righty. Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you for
Thank
having
you
me.
so much, Corey.
Thank
That was a
you.
really good